Hello, and welcome to Depth Perception. We discuss movies and dive into how films direct the way we experience them. We create a perception of sound, a perception of sight, with a dimension of mind. We move into a land of both shadow and substance, of themes and ideas. This is your host, Mr. Vozly. To my left, he is Tin the Toolman Taylor. Tin the Toolman.
Evening.
Tin Man. To my right, some of y'all call him Jealous One Still Envy. Some of y'all call him the Don Cartagena. And some of y'all call him K to the Max.
That's right.
Episode 18 is brought to you by the phrase, upon further review. KMax brought this phrase up a few episodes ago. Movies that have had a bad first impression and upon further review realize the movie had something else to say or wasn't what you thought it was. We're going to try and see things through another point of view and discuss movies and watch movies, see what happens after. So seeing things from another point of view, I think, is a skill that is sorely lacking in today's society. You know, we have a very political atmosphere going on right now for the last few months, if not years. And we're not going to talk politics this episode. But I think things might be a little bit more civil if we exercised that skill of seeing things from another point of view a little bit more often. My thought is one cannot begin to refute another's stance if one is unwilling to see things through that other point of view. And instead, I'm going to relate this to a Buffalo Bills story. So recently, our kicker, T-Bass, had been struggling with relatively easy kicks, becoming a little bit unreliable, and many fans and local analysts started to call for his job. And you fast forward to this past Sunday, well, by the time this episode's released, it'd be a week. T-Bass kicks the winning field goal over the Dolphins, and there's post-game footage where you see an emotional Josh Allen expressing how happy and proud he is of the kicker, and then you see an emotional T-Bass accept the game ball from his coach and tearfully thank his teammates for always supporting him. And so the thing is, I saw several tweets from fans leading up to this, also calling for his job, but after seeing that footage, expressed how emotional they got from seeing it, and that they would no longer be bad-mouthing T-Bass and would instead be supportive of him. And I think that's just dandy. However, it made me think a little bit, and it was kind of like, well, is this the attitude that you deal with just anybody? You know, not everyone gets a personalized montage to send you to get you to think of them as a person rather than just an idea that you can badmouth and swear at and put down. Like, did you not think this was a normal person with feelings and ambition? Did you not think that this person had the full support of his peers to succeed? You know, it's just these fans, you know, we're just people without a clue how loved someone is by their closest friends and family that we're just spewing disgust about. And in this, you know, in many fans' cases, you know, the tweeting their newfound support, that point of view only changed because they were shown this secret footage from the other side. And there's a lot of people out there with the same attitude in life, but you know, we're not able to send them personalized video montages of how we're supported or how someone else is supported or loved by their loved ones. And I think we need to be able to think like this a little bit more, and exercise that skill before we start speaking with hatred about just anybody. And obviously, that's pretty indicative of maybe where our society is as a whole right now. And just so appropriate to bring up this week. And like I said, we're not going to get political, but the whole mindset of the episode is based on seeing things from another point of view and maybe giving things another shot. Not to win us over per se, but just to see if there's things that we're missing and being able to exercise seeing things from another point of view.
Hear, hear.
So, with that said, we're going to jump into, we got three different categories that we're going to talk about this episode. We're going to go with movies that left a bad first impression with us. And since then, we have come around to and even appreciate these movies. Second category are, again, movies that we've had bad first impressions of, but have never recovered. So these are going to be the movies that we still don't like. Because, spoiler alert, as part of our assignment, the three of us will be agreeing on one of these movies to watch as the chapter. It's either going to be 19 or 20. I'm not sure which one's going to come first here. Probably 20. And then lastly, we're going to have movies that are about changed perceptions or changed point of views. And I think that one will actually be chapter 19. So we kind of set the stage, and then we try to exercise our point of views in the last part of the upon further review chapter. So let's begin with movies that still have a bad first impression. So who wants to start first?
I'll go first.
Yes.
So, as I was reading the assignment, it took me a minute to try to find movies where I had issues with in the past and had a changed perspective. And a lot of the times it was based on me being young and maybe not understanding. And the older I got, it kind of changed. But a movie that I did see and then didn't like it at the time and then watched it again and confirmed my dislike for it is a movie that I saw in theaters, me and the missus. We went to go see Meet the Spartans. She immediately didn't want to go. There's like one of the few times where like, I'm going to go see this movie. I'm going to go see that movie because we just went to the movies so regularly back then. She went to go see a movie called Atonement with James McAvoy, and I wish I had saw that. I sat through the movie for about the first half hour, and it's a spoof on 300, and it's so bad. Like I was hoping it was closer to like Scary Movie, where there's a little more witty and plot to it, but it's just too wild, wacky, distracting the whole time that I was like, oh my God, I can't sit through this any longer. And I ended up watching about 30 minutes of it, and then I left. And then I saw the movie on like DirecTV like maybe a month ago. And I'm like, let's see if it was as bad as I thought. And I forgot I had watched the movie before. So I put it on, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's even worse than I remember, I think. I think I dislike it even more now.
Oh boy.
How dare you waste my time twice, you know? So anyone out there who really loves Meet the Spartans, you know, you can have at it. You can bring it on.
Did you have any other movies, or was that like the biggest
like
one?
That's like the one I remember because I paid money to go see it, and then was like, I got to go jump to another movie real quick. So I just jumped to the other movie theater and sat and watched Atonement, which seemed like a boring period piece biopic, something or other, and it was it wasn't bad. It still was way better than Meet the Spartans. Like I'd go see that movie in a heartbeat over Meet the Spartans again.
Which is tough because, I mean, if it's usually the parody movies, you could at least just, oh, well, it's stupid comedy. I'll have it on in the background or something.
And I can ride out a good chunk of those movies, but for whatever reason, man, that movie I was like, nope, not for me. Couldn't do it. And very few. I've sat through a couple dumb movies and was like, yeah, whatever, I'll ride this one out. I have two that come to mind were Master of Disguise.
Oh, yeah.
And the one Zohan movie wasn't too bad with Adam Sandler, but I remember everyone else being like, this movie kind of sucks. No, I was like, it wasn't bad. Like, compared to Meet the Spartans, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, too, because it's going to be tough to, I think, for this group here to find movies that we still don't like, because if we see it on TV, we can skip it. We can change the channel.
Yeah.
We can try it. We can just stop it and go to a different show or movie. And then, especially nowadays with the movie theaters, it's, you see it or you don't.
Yeah.
You know enough about it to say, yeah, I know my interest. I'm going to go see it because it's going to cost me $50 to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, maybe 10 years ago, it was, well, let's go to the movies. What's playing? I don't know. Let's try this.
Yeah, it was $7 a ticket.
Yeah.
It was whatever.
It was an experience that you could just throw money at.
Yeah.
And, But nowadays, because the prices are so high, you have to pick and choose what you're going to go to the theater.
Yeah, there's got to be reviews. We're going to pay for. Are we going to buy food when we're there? And it's going to be
like, who am I going with? Am I going with? Do I have to pay for kids? Do I have to pay?
Yep. Oh man, it is quite expensive when I take all the kids, pay for tickets, and they all want food. Like, nope. We got gift cards. We're definitely. We got for Christmas is gift cards. We're spending it on these.
So
one
especially
outing.
with us, it's you know what you want to see, and that's what you'll pay for.
Yep.
Maybe not with this podcast. Send you guys on some goose chases. But, KMax, do you have any movies that still rub you the wrong way?
Yeah, I do. I didn't like Joker, and I still don't. In fact, I hate the movie Joker. I can see some of the critical acclaim. I can see some of the acting chops. But give me the comic. Give me the graphic novel. Even give me Jack Nicholson. Give me anything but that portrayal of Joker. Watched it probably 4 times to try to get something. Even tried to watch it after the lenses that I have, the new glasses that I've gotten. Sucks more.
What about it specifically did you not like?
Seems pointless. What's the point? I don't know what it's trying to get me to do. I feel bad for him at some points. I feel like he gets his victory, but his victory is in some kind of... Am I supposed to cheer for that? I mean, it's confusing. It's off-putting.
It's definitely off-putting.
It feels like it's trying to be... Some things that tick me off about some films, when it's trying to be something, and it's like, okay, you're trying too hard to be that. And then when it doesn't get there, it's even more pathetic. That's what I felt about it. It was like trying to be deep and have some kind of different... and it very likely was me missing the point. I'll live with that. But if you're making the point so hard for me to find after 4 times, then that might be on you as the filmmaker.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
I just hated it.
Okay.
And the thing is, if it fills you with yuck and almost turns your stomach, it's like, I'm learning now that could be the purpose, but like, screw that. I don't want to feel that way. so like, I've watched it a few times with the idea of trying to wrap my head around it and like it. I'm like, I love Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's awesome. And he was great in that. But I watched it thinking, what's the draw, And I didn't watch the new one, obviously.
Yeah.
But I hear, this one's even worse. I'm like, yeah.
A lot of people
Spoiler
do.
alert, the first one sucked. In my opinion, right? So that's one for me. I don't expect anyone to agree, which is fine with that. Space Jam, New Legacy.
Ooh, okay,
Not the original.
okay.
Space Jam, New Legacy. Like the first one I loved, and it might be just the time that I watched it. It was right in the wheelhouse. It was actually Jordan. Mm-hmm. The actual goat, instead of like, these kid
Those
goats
fighting
and
words.
things like that. And these... If you have to say, and that's when I knew I was the greatest of all time. If you have to say that, you're not the greatest of all time. I'm looking at you, LeBron.
Apparently not invited to the podcast.
And I think he's a great guy. I really do. I think he's a pretty good dude, man. He's done a lot of good for the community. No hate on there, but I just thought that movie, if I had to be specific, you're trying to follow a template that doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because we don't... Maybe they do, but I don't think people are invested in care. Kids are invested in care about their athletes the way we did about them back then. And I might be romanticizing the good old days, but it's like right now, You're not just this amazing basketball player who signs an autograph and just has this squeaky clean image. Now you have all these platforms and all these people you have to say certain things for and stand by. Those aren't bad things, but there was an innocence to athletics back then. Again, someone's like, "Oh, Braley's just being a naive, romanticizing the old days." Maybe
They would say, "Boom, okay, boomer."
Yeah,
is what
okay,
I heard.
boomer.
Okay, boomer. Yeah.
That's what I hear anyway.
and I would say Gen X. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but I wish I was a boomer. They make a lot more money. But like, that movie right there. It's like the things that drew me, I guess, as a 20-something or a teenager, don't draw me as a 40-something when that movie came out. So that's probably what it is more than anything. But I've watched it a few times, and I'm like, come on, give me the thrills. And it's like, all the little things seemed hokey. And again, that's the difference in age. I just felt like I've watched it a few times to try to make me like it.
Yeah.
And it didn't make me like it. Those are two that are outside of things that were brought up, and I don't want to take any of Voz's suggestions because I think those are excellent. The one that you have is my number one with a bullet, and I'll just leave that because I can't wait. I hope we watch that one. Okay. I'm going to be done with those two.
And this is a reminder for the audience. We're still not here to bash movies.
Absolutely.
And so with KMax, like he's given the movies multiple viewings, and at the end of the day, sometimes movies just aren't for certain people. But he tried different lenses on, tried to see what worked, what didn't work, and found some things. You mentioned Joaquin Phoenix acting.
Amazing.
Got him an Oscar, right?
Yeah, these are well deserved. Very well deserved.
Sometimes movies like that are for certain demographics that other audience members just aren't a part of. Mm-hmm. So that, I can definitely see that. I feel like Joker was going to be a polarizing movie as it went along, from its source material, and not include, or at least portraying Bruce Wayne they did the way they did in that movie, and kind of excluding it from any canon or any, I could see where you're coming from, for sure. And same thing with the new Space Jam. Again, it's GOAT for some people, like LeBron, and some people are going to be Team Jordan. And I feel like that's just going to be how it is.
Yeah. I think that's mainly my thing about the whole thing.
And it's made for like a more modern audience too, or the whole way that they played the game and how they portrayed everything. I mean, even the visuals just is so different than the first one. And the first one just felt simple. It felt, it was just like that, like movie magic type of stuff,
Oh, yeah.
we mentioned early episodes of the podcast, and it just has it. It felt like, with Jordan and overcoming the monsters and everything, So on to my movies. I have a list, we'll say.
And I've got a list.
First one I'll go with is, I think it's the most recent on the list here, Longlegs.
Okay, I didn't see that one yet.
So KMax.
Yeah.
KMax.
You saw it?
Yeah. Again, I watched like a pirated.
Right. Yeah, because
I'm like, I didn't see it at the theaters, and Corey's like, wait, what?
I started talking about it, and KMax is like, oh yeah, I've seen it. I was like, yeah, okay, you've seen it. And then you're like, Nick Cage, he looks like a crazy person.
And I'm like, he's taking a picture of the little girl's taking a picture of him, and Corey's like, oh my God, he has seen it.
I was like, but to me, I think it was more so the structure of the movie, and it was, you built up this crazy aura for Nick Cage to be in this movie, and people saying, you don't recognize him, and he's completely insane, and spoiler alert again for all these movies, but he kills himself halfway through the movie, and you're thinking, well, now where's my final conflict? Where's it going to come from? I don't know. So when it does happen, it's just kind of, it doesn't feel as built up. Like when you see Nick Cage the way he is, you're hoping for a crazy ending to this movie with your crazy villain, and it doesn't happen.
What's the use of having a crazy villain?
Right. Right.
Especially one to his caliber, where he's acting that way. Like he was, that was like his most eye-opening portrayal in some time, and it almost felt wasted, where he just kills himself, and then I mean, it was like I said, you felt lost after that, or at least I did, kind of thinking, well, bing, bang, boom, you're all done.
Yeah.
Bing, bang, boom.
Like the express train.
And there's another aspect to it. We talked about it a little bit in the religion episode, where a movie just, to us anyway, feels off when there's no opposing force. So when you have all evil in a movie like Longlegs, but there's no mention of an opposing good, then it just doesn't, it feels like you're just trudging along through evil, and there's not really any winning. And maybe that's part of the message, but for the storytelling, on top of getting rid of that main villain, it didn't have as yummy as a payoff as I was kind of hoping for, especially with a character that you built up like Nick Cage as Longlegs. And I move into Everything Everywhere All at Once, the Oscar-winning Everything Everywhere All at Once. And sometimes movies, I can see the appeal of it, and I can see why people thought certain things. But for this one, I feel like I was watching it and comparing it to other movies that have similar premises. And anytime you talk timelines and alternate universes, you start to lose me, because it feels more of a like a fail-safe for your story. Well, if anything could happen, why does this happen? And then I start to get distracted and trying to pick apart your logics of how your alternate universes work and why certain things work. And I guess time travel, alternate universes, this changes that, but it doesn't change this, and we have hot dogs for fingers, and why? You show me someone with hot dogs for fingers, I want to go there. I want to see what else is made of hot dogs. What are hot dogs? They look like fingers? I don't know. Yeah. So with that movie especially, and a lot of it seemed pretty random too. Like, oh, well, if you pick your nose and you scratch your ear and you lick your elbow, you turn into this. You get this power. And I don't know, it was just a little too distracting for me. And it moved at a very fast pace. So anytime I got distracted and started to wonder why certain things were happening or what else could be possible with the new logic that they're telling me, and then I pay back attention to the storyline, and I'm lost again. I don't know where you are. I don't know who's who. I don't know what powers she has got anymore, or if she lost any, if she gained new ones, who's good, who's bad. I don't know. To me, it felt more praised than maybe it should have. I know with the acting anyway. To me, it came around the time you still had movies like Avengers, like Endgame and Loki and stuff like that, where it's playing with the same stuff, and it just kind of felt tacked on, and acting, effects, etc. just felt on par with everything else that was saturating those types of storylines. So for it to win all these awards kind of had even worse of an effect, I think, on my perspective of the movie, because it felt forced, I guess.
Okay.
Like, it felt like just another run-of-the-mill movie was getting these types of awards. Like, what's to stop, Avengers Endgame from getting the best movie?
Yeah.
So that was that movie. I know a lot of people hold that in high regard, and I'm willing to try it again, but we'll see. I think I got 3. They're kind of increasing, I think, in terms of impressions also here.
In redemption?
Yeah.
In need of redemption.
So I've got, I'll put it here. Indiana Jones, Temple of the Crystal Skull.
There it is.
Ooh.
I could get through parts of it.
I have not seen it.
You haven't seen it at all.
I don't think I've
seen it at all.
I haven't seen it
Intentionally.
from start to finish in one sitting.
Intentionally.
It's been, I'll walk in at one part and say,
sacrilege,
and just relate it to the other 3 movies, and I'm thinking, what? This doesn't match. This doesn't match in tone and theme and characterization. So anytime that I've tried to just sit down and watch it, hasn't turned out well. There's heavy influence of religion and faith in the other 3 movies. And even Temple of Doom, it just might not be Christian faith. It was definitely other faith, with the villagers putting their faith in Indy and their own beliefs that the stones would return and that their village would prosper again, but even from the word go, when I heard it was about like aliens, it was kind of like, how, I'm not sure I want to see how you relate that to faith, but it sounds like the faith is just thrown out the window as one of the supporting themes in the movie. There's movies that use it to its advantage, like Signs definitely uses an alien invasion as its main thing, but somehow faith is a very strong theme in that movie. Crystal Skull, from the very start, just irked me the wrong way, because I thought, there's no way you can bring up this character and everything that happened in the previous 3 movies, and then introduce aliens into it, and it still feel right. Mm-hmm. So that one may be met with the most prejudice out of all the movies, I think, from my perspective anyway. All right, we're down to number 2.
All right, what's 2?
Love Actually.
James was poking the bear today.
Apparently, the great Christmas movie, Love Actually.
Oh no, he knew he was going to get me on his side with this.
That's a spoiler alert for a future chapter, but
he got me wound up. James, I'm going to throw lukewarm coffee.
But Love Actually.
Where's your Venn diagram now?
Started off as a joke.
Diagram?
I playfully joke with my wife anytime she's watching anything. Doesn't matter. What's this garbage you're watching? Most of the time it's Hallmark, but when we're
garbage.
And those are all jokes. Whatever she's watching, I don't actually mind. But this one started off as a joke. It was all the rage when it came out. Everyone loved it, and it was the ultimate chick movie, it seemed like, and all the guys took their girls on dates to go see this movie, and I was never on board with it, but it wasn't like I minded at all, but it kept, just over the years, I would catch more clips of it, and it started as a joke, but it was almost like a self-prophesized joke, where it's like, oh, this is terrible, isn't it? Like, just kind of, almost like it came into existence, that I just wasn't meant to like this movie. And like the one guy, like the biggest scene I remember is like I came in.
It's destiny. I don't know.
I've never seen him more enthusiastic about anything.
My wife's watching. I sit down. I watch this scene, and it's Coral. No, what's his name? Andrew Lincoln from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And he's doing like the posters, telling her how he feels or whatever, in front of like the woman's husband's right there, isn't he? Something like that. But he's in the doorway, like,
I joked like it was an awesome movie. I haven't seen it.
But he's like kind of trying to snake this guy's girl right from out. He's like right there. It seemed like, and he was hitting on her and trying to get her. So it felt it reminded me of Jim in The Office, the early seasons where he's just blatantly hitting on Pam, even though Roy is, works in the same building. So I saw that and I was like, this movie's about what? Love, actually. But
Lust, actually.
And then like shortly after that, Alan Rickman is like trying to butter up his assistant or some young woman that he knew instead of his wife, and I was like, I'm sure there's redemption here, and I'm sure he makes the right choice, but I'm out of here.
Turn to page 394. It's the worst name ever, but I had to.
I knew what it was.
Thanks, man. Why is he talking like Snuffleupagus?
So that's Love Actually. Again, it's not like a.
So that's a movie that after time it has not gained any ground in your favor.
It seems like each time I try to see it, it's one of those two scenes, and I'm sure there's redemption, but I don't know.
Not here. Not getting it here.
It is not this day.
But today is not that day. I like it.
Man, you waited all this before
I go to number one. Go ahead,
the podcast.
Just waited as you were talking and Steph was talking earlier in pre-production. I was like, all right, hold.
He saw the whites of our eyes. He's
But
like, I like it.
I like it, and I like them too.
KMax, what were your...
I mean, just because I guess I had such a low expectation for it, and I liked all the celebrities in it, and I liked all the layers of how they're trying to tell a story of, okay, they're trying to show what people, I think this is why I liked it, because people's impressions of what love is. You know what I mean? It's like, So the one guy trying to steal the guy's girl with the posters out front, the Rick. Like, Rick, what are you doing? That's his idea, and then there's two or three other characters, and then, but it's like, what yucky examples of what love is with Alan Rickman's, especially with the young assistant. And there was a couple other, like, kind of creepy. It's like, I don't know, I guess I kind of liked it though, because it's like, it's just a take. It feels nice. I don't know that it's a Christmas movie, but I like the fact that it happens at Christmas time-ish.
It'll be... I mean, this won't be the last time that we speak about that movie. I'll say that.
Corey's saying, so do you still like this one?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we move into number one. And, I don't know, part of me feels like I made this a villain just because I need a villain in my love for movies. Mamma Mia.
We just lost a fan, by the way.
Yeah, someone just unfollowed.
You remember the sound AOL instant message where someone would sign off, you hear the door.
Yeah,
that's exactly what just happened.
Sound you just heard. Boz and I were talking like pre-production, and he brought that up, and I just said, I cannot speak a word of this. I have friendships that are too precious. Alliances too deep.
So like I said, I feel
Bonds.
like I made this a villain just to have a villain in this love for movies, and my first impression of it was being forced into this movie. And I apologize to my wife and to my sister-in-law, Jen. I was outvoted. and what movie to go see. They wanted Mamma Mia.
What was your vote?
Anything else?
I'm gonna put my hood on for us a second as a sign of solidarity. Okay.
You can't see it, but KMax is putting cotton in his ears now.
In his one ear.
Thank you very much.
I'm pretty sure my mom has the soundtrack.
So, it's ABBA. It's not like it's a terrible soundtrack, but I was in a mood that day when it was like, oh yeah, your vote doesn't matter. We're seeing Mamma Mia.
You were just lucky they brought you along.
I was like, I can go. You guys,
I don't need to be here.
You can watch the movie. I'll just go. But it was. I feel like the subject matter for because ABBA is very uplifting music, and the whole the story is like this woman doesn't know who her baby daddy is, and she's flying them all in to see who matches best with her, and it's just such a I don't like that premise.
Fun Jerry Springer.
Yeah, right. I guess that's how I have to look at it.
Yeah.
Is a Italian villa Jerry Springer,
Yeah,
or wherever
Maury.
they're at. Greece. Where are they? KMax, you should know, right? Where are they?
Are they in Greek?
Greece?
Island?
Yeah, right?
That sounds right.
Kolakari, a Greek island.
Okay.
All right, so they're in
I
calamari.
think
Calamari.
absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
I'm not sure it's 100%. Yeah,
It's Greek for summer, by the way.
But just the idea that, Pierce Brosnan was like, oh, I might have a daughter with a woman I slept with. Oh, and there's other men here too. I don't know, it's just irked me the wrong way, as I'm supposed to be happy with ABBA, playing in the background. So I only watched it the once, and I don't remember much from it because, like I said, it's just become this villain, this anti-Vozly. I'm willing to give it another shot. It's been
going to get like
20 years or whatever
Mia
it came
T-shirt
out
for Christmas.
And I remember just being so outraged when they're like, what is it, Mamma Mia again, or whatever the sequel is. So
Outraged.
So it's probably fake hate, but it was just, I don't know. Like I said, I've explained myself.
All right, looks like we're going to have to watch it and review it, and on further review,
We got a winner.
So we can decide what we're going to watch for episode 20. So there'll be not next episode after that. So
I got my pick.
Do we have,
we're just going to be singing ABBA.
but this is stuff that we
Corey's like, go home.
that we all have a bad impression of. So do you have a bad impression of Mamma Mia?
Gosh, I'm going to lose a friend over this. Yes.
Okay. You don't even have to go further.
Okay.
We'll keep your friendship intact
All right.
somewhat.
Thank you.
We'll keep the threads intact.
Yes.
I got no feeling one way or another. I didn't really see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No. Would it help if I just
What
told
if
you guys
I
disliked
told
it?
you?
What if you told me to dislike
What
it?
if I told you it had the soundtrack of ABBA?
Not
enough?
Once
Okay.
again, I have no
What if I
feelings
told
one way
you
or another.
it was about three men seeing if they have a
Who
surprise
are
daughter?
the men? Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan's one.
Call-
Colin
them.
Firth, right? Colin Firth is one.
I don't know.
I will
remember
tell
that
you.
much.
Well, Colin Firth, yes. And Stalin Sarsgaard.
Stellan?
Yeah, that's the professor from Thor, right? The killer from Girl with Dragon Tattoo.
Another fine Christmas movie.
Christmas in Norway.
I'm going to move. I have
On the Venn diagram.
I told you
it
guys to have
goes.
a political podcast coming up. I might be previously engaged. Oh my god.
Well, it does have Amanda Seyfried.
Right. From
helps.
Mean Girls and Ted
She
Two.
can join. Well, what do we say?
Well, Jennifer Lawrence gets first dibs.
That's right. Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo gets second.
What else do we say? Alison Brie.
Bill Burr And Allison Brie. Bill Burr was the other. We had a comedian, director, writer, director, and an actress. Yeah.
All not pictured.
Non-pictured.
They're here in spirit. Hey, I have a picture right there. That needs to be added more often.
Ever since our alien podcast, I can't get the one guy out of my head.
Out of your dreams.
Right. So anytime I agree with someone, I'm thinking of that guy.
Who's that guy?
I forget his name.
What movie is it from?
He was the other alien. He was the other mechanic with the hat.
Oh, from Down Periscope.
Okay.
Yeah, he's also a mechanic in Down Periscope. Yeah. Any fans out there, Down Periscope?
But he keeps, whenever he agrees, right.
He's got like a Navy hat on, right? He's got like
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not the black guy, scraggly beard.
Right.
That's
No, he doesn't have a beard.
He doesn't?
He's got, a 7 o'clock shadow at that.
Yeah. He's got a dawn. Early dawn shadow.
A what? I should hope so.
Dawn.
Oh, no G. No W, no G.
He's got a dawn.
All right. So are we
I
in?
know from experience.
So, there was Temple of the Crystal Skull. How do we feel about that one? Or do we feel like Mamma Mia is our winner?
Well, I gotta say, Temple of the Crystal Skull, I got enough out of that I liked some parts of it.
Okay.
Brett. His name's Brett.
Brett, that's it.
Harry Dean Stanton. Anyway. Continue.
I don't want to say it's ABBA. It's their fault. But I'm not gonna say it's not ABBA.
Who's the mom?
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep? Mm-hmm. She's the loose woman of the evening?
Yes. Yes, she's the loose woman who can't track down what man she slept with
I
within a
won't
9.
go that far myself. like a
Jeff Goldblum
Jeff Goldblum or the guy
Goldblum.
from
He
the
pulled
family of artichokes who are nervous about the way their pee smells. You know, they go,
Kyle Gass and Elf, right?
yes.
I thought KMax pulled a. It goes without saying.
So it does. So it does.
All right. So I guess Mamma Mia then.
Yeah, let's.
All right.
All right,
So
fine.
spoiler alert.
I hate it.
Episode
We'll see where it
20
goes.
is Mamma Mia.
We might have
gonna
to
be
watch that one together.
Yeah, I think so.
And we have to because then you're gonna need proof that I watched it again.
We're just going to be singing ABBA.
Hey, listen, I'll try to put a little video of like some of the parts that tick Voz off the most. Probably the nicest person I know. Or at least put that on the Insta. Just take a moment while me and you are dancing.
We're the dancing queen.
You gotta put some stupid Instagram moving picture on my
filter
face.
on it.
We'll have Greek salads.
Some moving mustache or something while I'm frowning watching this movie.
Do they wear Hawaiian? Hawaiian?
There's some seasonal attire.
I might bring a seasonal shirt for the
I might
viewing.
too. Well, let's look. We can theme this thing up and do it right.
Maybe I'll father an illegitimate kid.
Maybe I'll bring in a
response to this
14-year-old
too.
illegitimate child into the mix. We'll see how this goes.
I'm not laughing at any of that. I'm laughing at Voz. It's probably a fine film.
You three may be one of the dads.
So we got the negativity out of the way here with our bad first impressions. We'll move right into movies that started off with a bad impression, and then we put on some different lenses. Time had passed, things had happened, and we found out that we actually either liked the movie or just stopped disliking it.
Okay.
Yes. So I
Okay.
feel like for the rest of this time, you're going to be hearing this. like a cat that's annoyed with their tail, just listening. And you just hear that tail.
If it's any consolation to anyone that loves Mamma Mia, we'll be watching it with the intent on finding things we can appreciate from it and try to interpret, as we have with all the movies in our podcast.
Pre-gaming in the parking lot.
So we'll be so we'll be watching it with
Not enough Lowenbrow.
positive lens to improve our perspectives on Mamma Mia.
Let's do this.
Anyways, all right. So movies that have already improved impressions.
Okay, I'll go first in this one. So I had a tough time trying to find movies that I wasn't just because I was young, didn't understand. There's one movie in particular. I'll get to that one last. The first one that comes to mind, I watched it, I was a kid. Parents are laughing. Had no idea, did not get any of the jokes. Everything flew over my head, didn't make any sense. And I really liked the main character of the movie, Robin Williams. But in the movie, I didn't understand anything. Everything went over my head. I didn't get it. It just seemed boring after a while. And I paid no attention to it. Watching it again, The Birdcage.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So, I have one of my really good close friends. He's gay, sassy as hell. And going back and watching this movie, I go, dude, have you ever seen The Birdcage? And he's like, no. I was like, you ain't really gay. So, watching this movie, and I was like, this is hilarious. This is everything that Cam and from Modern Family, and even the boyfriend to Robin Williams.
Oh, Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane, yes.
The best.
He's like the same character
The best.
as he is in, just as outlandish, just as hilarious
As,
in Modern Family,
So
as he is in
good.
this movie.
I like the way he screams. Oh!
What was that?
They're trying to teach him how to be Butch. It's just
I need another pairing tablet. So good.
It's such a good movie. I watched it again not too long ago. I was like, this is hilarious. So funny. And all the jokes when I was 10 just went over my head completely. Didn't get any of it. Didn't understand it. Didn't know why everyone was laughing. Upon further review, hilarious. I don't know how any of my gay friends haven't seen this movie. I don't get that. You ain't really gay. You gotta go watch this movie.
That's awesome.
That one, okay. Second movie in my list, same thing. I was young, didn't understand the context, seemed like a boring movie, didn't make any sense. It was Steel Magnolias. I heard Anthony Mackie once on an interview talk about the movie, and he was like, those women in that movie, you couldn't have done it with other actresses in that time and blah, 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 blah. Like, it was an interview kind of based on, they were kind of getting into race and what he could do and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, the women in this movie really nailed those parts because that's what needed to be in order to tell that story. And when I watched it, being a lot older, it had much more of an impact, much more of a meaning with the relationship and the death and how all the women acted within their group. And it just meant so much more when I got older. It didn't mean anything to me as a kid. Like,
Sure.
It just seemed like a boring movie where, oh, isn't that girl from Pretty Woman? You know, like, but I didn't know anything about it. But when I was older, watching again, the context and the meaning and the acting behind the whole thing was so well done, so meaningful that I would just really enjoyed it as a movie. Didn't think I would. Had no means to understand it as a kid. But when I got older, it was like, I still don't feel like this is a movie I'd want to watch. But because of being such a well-told story, I just really appreciated it after I got older. And the last one, very similar to Mother, where it's a story based on needing to understand a theme to unlock the story, because it does not make sense without the key enemy. So we had mentioned it before. Jake Gyllenhaal and... female's name.
And also Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Jake Gyllenhaal. So if anybody sees this movie, there is a theme behind it. And if you read some of the reviews, it makes no sense. Oh, there's a spider invasion. Something. And I'm like, what? That's not at all what it's about. If you watch the movie without the understanding of the theme behind it, it kind of doesn't make sense. So the first time I watched it was at Voz's house. And I'm trying hard to like pick apart themes and meanings of what does this mean? What does that mean? Where does this giant spider come from? Like what's going on here? once I kind of got a hint, like in Mother, what are the themes that kind of unlock what this movie means? It made so much more sense. And on second viewing of it, because I ended up watching it a second time after your house, it made so much more sense, and it was much more enjoyable movie after that. So that would be my third movie. So
That's part of the genesis of the podcast right there, though, because I remember showing you that movie and then seeing how much your view of it changed. Once we discussed a little bit, like seeing that transition where it was just night and day, where it was like, I don't get it, to, oh, so that's why this happened, and that that was there. And, I think those were the early stages of like I want to spread that to more people.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes, it's one of those movies that if you do not have the key, and I don't even know if I would suggest people watch it without the key first, or watch it once and be lost. Then once you get the key, then go back. You're like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. That makes more sense. Oh, that's why he's doing that.
Oh, cool. That is even yummier payoffs.
It is. It's watch a movie twice payoff, but it gets there, and it's really neat seeing all those doors open because everything starts to line up, and you're okay. It was definitely worth the payoff watching it both times, because Jake Gyllenhaal's an awesome actor too in the movie as well. But that's my third movie.
I feel like that's in the advanced classes of depth perception movie podcast. Is watching that without, if you've never heard of it, it'd be cool to see, if you can watch it without any context, pick up what you can, and then look to see, okay, were my ideas on the theme correct? And if so, how did they support it in the movie? And then actually see if that's what the filmmakers are trying to go for. Because that is one where it's definitely about something. And if you can pick it up, everything just kind of falls into place. Much like Mother.
Yeah.
So was that?
That
you said that was your list. KMax.
I got a bit of a list here of films that I didn't like at first, but loved them after further review. Because coming upon Thanksgiving, everybody needs a second chance, forgiveness, thankfulness.
That's it.
I'm so glad to get out of horror. So glad to get past the election. I'm so glad to turn the page on October, even though I love October for all its spookiness and whatnot. This is cool. So first one was Mother. I want to just kind of, and if you want to know the reason why, look at the podcast, listen to the podcast.
That was episode
14. No.
I thought it was close to like 7.
So 10, 11, I think.
Yeah. Look at the archives, and Mother is one. You'll hear a saturated episode of listening, and then contention, anger, despair, and then after a further review, wow, this is actually championing the same things I would champion, and being able to pull so much more out of there. That Mother had to make the list, even though we've discussed it at length, had to be brought up because it was such a huge, man, when I watched it with this lens, it spoke to me this way. And that's worthy of making the list. Second one's a series. My second one's a series of movies. And you'll connect the dots before I even say the second title. So here they are. Dogma, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Jane, Silent Bob Strike Back, and more. Anything by Kevin Smith. And nice. I thought to myself, here's why I didn't like him. Who are you to say you speak for my generation? And now that I'm a little older, I'm like, holy crap, he was speaking for my generation. And now every one of those movies, when I watch them, I'm like, word, exactly, yes, this is what's funny, this is what's hilarious, that's how we say it, yes. And, and that's plainly what it is, just a change in perspective as I get further, like my taste in music. I hated 80s music. Now you put it on, man, and like that's my jam. I love that. Give me that 80s pop. Give me time. Distance makes the heart grow fonder, I guess. That's my whole experience with Kevin Smith's filmmaking. And then also I think it helps. Got a chance to meet and greet. He was at UB. Got a chance to get to hear him talk and take some Q&A a little bit, and and talk about why he made movies and why he told certain stories and why he had certain characters in all the movies. He said, you'll find this character in all my movies. You'll find this one. Why? because that's my vantage point from telling the story. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I'd go back and watch them with that lens, saying, who's his person that's the authority figure that needs to be corrected? Now, who's this person who's he called it the wandering gypsy character that has to find his way, miraculously.
Yeah.
He goes, 'cause that's all of us when we're lost in high school. We don't even know what lunch table to sit at, and you find your way, and you're like, oh man, these are my people, this is my tribe, Yeah. So anyway, and I'm like, holy cats, he is speaking for my generation. So, and then my final one, which is odd, I didn't like it at first, but it's become, I think it's top 15 movie of all time for me. So when it made the jump from, this is pretentious, this is arrogant. Oh, you think you're talking for me? Oh, you have the coffee shop, record store vibe cornered. No, you don't. No one's that cool. Get your record and put it where the sun don't shine. On a shelf. It's low fidelity, right? John Cusack and Jack Black. And,
High Fidelity?
Is it high fidelity? I think it's low fidelity.
Or is it infidelity?
It might be one of the three. Is it high fidelity? I think it's low fidelity. If only there were handheld.
High fidelity.
Well, there it is. I'm talking about a movie called Low Fidelity. No, it's not true.
You guys misheard me.
So yeah, so definitely high fidelity. So I was just like the pretentiousness of almost any movie with John Cusack in it. Just the way he plays the character, it's like, I'm so cool. I don't even have to try to be cool, but I'm just cool. And look, I'm dressed so uncool. And I'm trying to be. I don't need to be, but I'm cool. And I'm like, okay. And then they always had these lists, top 5 records to break up to, top 5 records. And I guard that. That's so sacred to me because I'm like, top 5 Hurton songs. I made those CDs all the time.
Yeah.
Top 5 songs to work out to, top playlist. Now, you young kids, you don't have that pleasure of creating a playlist anymore. They do it for you. Spotify does. iTunes does. Mm-hmm. Workout. Your Sirius XM. Turbo workout. Turbo party. Hip hop. Backyard barbecue. You got a playlist for all seasons. And like
2024 summertime.
Yeah,
playlist. There it is.
You used to have to make that stuff. Sit by the radio and wait for it to come on. Press.
Wait for it to come on.
Play and record and pause. And then press the pause button when it came on, when Casey Kasem would shut his yapper, and then pause it before the Casey Kasem would start talking. So you'd make your playlist, and then you'd burn a CD. Give it to friends. Bring it to a party, burn a CD. And here's these guys trying to tell you how it's done and how to pick it. And looking at the camera, like, looking at the camera and telling the audience, speaking directly to the audience. I always felt, you don't tell me what's good music. You don't tell me what's cool or what works for the situation. And then distance makes the heart grow fonder. Watching it, probably not even 10 years later, saying, man, this movie means a lot to me because not even the songs that they picked or the artists that they picked or the albums they picked, but how precious that right is. How in high esteem, not low esteem, how high esteem I wonder if there's a way we can buzz that out, how I just totally biffed on the entire name of this album I'm talking about, this movie.
Oh, it means so much to me.
I know, right? Yeah, I like it. I think it's called Bozo the Clown. The one with the record store, Jack Black. Here's the thing about being me. I don't care. So now I see like that rite of passage. It's that important to me that not even the songs or the list or even the contention even or the arrogance matters to me. It's holding that process in such high regard that they would fight over what song's playing at what time of the day in the record store. I love that problem. You go in a workplace and people are fighting over it. I'm like, that's a workplace I want to be a part of because it means something to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are my.
That's cool.
That's one that it changed a ton because the emotion changed. I'm like, I get that. That makes me feel happy. It makes me feel nice instead of bitter or protective. Bad at first, loved after further reviews.
All right. So my upon further review movies. Let's I'll go oldest to newest, I think. Halloween 3. No Michael Myers. How could I like it? Upon further review, if you watch it as it's intended, as more of a collection of themed movies around Halloween instead of strictly Michael Myers, it becomes, like just a nice 80s horror movie about, the corporations using, was it Shamrock? I think it was the name. Using the masks to control and kill off kids and whatever, and becomes less tainted, I guess, if you just block out Michael Myers and you focus on it as its own standalone movie. I didn't think it was that bad, as 80s horror movies go, and you can kind of enjoy it for what it is. Without having such an expectation attached to it. When's Michael Myers show up? When's Laurie Strode show up? How does it connect to the next movie? How does it connect to the previous movie? Just don't do that.
Just don't do that. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
They go back Halloween. They don't even retcon it. They don't go, well, okay, we're just going to do Halloween, Return to Michael Myers. They still named it 4. They still kept it in there. They could have said, no, audience, you're right. We'll just go Return of Michael Myers, just like you want. But they kept it in there, and they said, no, Halloween 3 is part of it. And, that I think that's fine with me. It was an attempt to, which is a pretty cool idea, to make like a movie every year based on the Halloween holiday.
That is pretty cool.
And, kind of have a scary movie every year that goes
like
an
anthology set
yeah,
almost. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was a good thought, and that's why I like that movie to exist anyway, as a reminder of what could have been, and what maybe they'll try to do in the future. Who knows? Let's see. I think next would be Jurassic Park 3. Another 3. You got to think about when this was released in terms of my age, and my all-time favorite movie has to be the first Jurassic Park, because that was my, call back to our influential episode, our first episode in Jurassic Park. Still my favorite. One of my earliest movie memories is that T-Rex escaping out of his paddock and throwing the car over the ledge, and just that iconic scene. And then you flash forward. When did that movie come out? JP3. That
2001.
Perfect. So I would have been 13. Yeah, so 13-year-old me watching the stupid Spinosaurus take down my beloved T-Rex. And that was enough to ruin it for me at that age. But, you flash forward a handful of years from that, and I can just enjoy it as another dinosaur movie. I was refreshed even more so recently. Kids are into dinosaurs. So I put on Jurassic Park, blocking them from seeing certain scenes, certain body parts flying around, certain men on toilets being whipped around after being chomped on. So Jurassic Park 3 kind of has the least amount of that I have to protect the kids from. And so there's another wave of enjoyment watching that together, something from my own childhood that I can watch in a positive light now, because they love seeing those dinosaurs, and looks real. And so it's hopefully a core memory for something for them to watch Jurassic Park movies with their dad. And that's one of them that I can put on without having to fast forward too often. So yeah, Jurassic Park 3. Hated at first because kid me hated seeing those corporate people, get rid of my T-Rex. But upon further review, hopefully an important memory in the family. And then we have Zodiac. I think 2000. That one might be 2007.
David Fincher.
Tin Man's on it.
Nah, I'm on it. Give me a second.
Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo.
2007.
All-star cast. And the lens I had watched it with initially was something like Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, that sort of thing. Police procedural, catch the bad guy. But Zodiac didn't have that finish, that yummy payoff. And at the time, I wasn't seeing that was part of it, this idea of obsession not having that completeness to it. So, you see Robert Downey Jr., his character kind of just go down a downward spiral, drinking and obsession and not finding the killer. And that, to me, that was, upon further review, that was the whole message of Zodiac, was obsession not having a happy ending. And each of those characters, for years and decades, trying to track down who the Zodiac was, could never do it. And so, like I said, initial viewing, I'm seeing years past, and whoa, wait a second, why are you skipping time? Where's my
Yummy payoff?
My chase scene? Where's where they almost get him, and where's my climactic scene where they catch him? And I knew the real life stuff that happened, it's kind of the same thing. They it just kind of fizzled out. Who knows what happened? And I guess I was hoping that they would kind of do some revisionist stuff and show you, oh no, here we got him. Here's what it would have been like if we got him. So when I first saw it, didn't see it that way. It didn't live up to the wrongful expectations that I placed on the movie to fulfill. And so after thinking about it and realizing, oh, maybe that's why they didn't have that, and rewatching it, I'm able to thoroughly enjoy pretty much everything about the movie. That the acting, the slow pacing, the color palette. There's one scene that sticks out when they actually show the Zodiac kill people in the I think it was the park, where he has the outfit on, and what he had a ski mask, I think.
It was like a hood with the eyes cut out of it.
Something like that, okay. Yeah. And it's broad daylight, and he's telling the couple what to do, and then just the killing portion of it, it all had much more of an impact, I feel like, watching it again, knowing that something so ruthless went unaccounted for. And not just that set of victims, but multiple victims. So Zodiac, another one where started off, bad impression, rethought it, rewatched it, but now it's, I have no problems with that one.
Cool.
And most recent one, The Witch, came out 2010s somewhere, but it was first watching another case where I may have had the wrong expectations going into it, because you see a lot of advertising. It's the scariest movie since The Exorcist. It's the scariest movie I've ever seen. And I think it was the director of The Exorcist that said that. I think I could be wrong on that, but so it was like, okay, be prepared to be scared. Then go into it thinking All right, The Exorcist. I remember that movie, those scenes. Freak me out. Let's go. And you watch it, and it's, to me anyway, it wasn't like, not even a dread scary to me anyway. It was like atmospheric and more of a period piece, like a period horror piece rather than like straight up horror. And it had some imagery in there, but overall, like it didn't meet my expectations as set by advertising of what this movie would have been. Upon further review, seeing it as a rare period horror movie is pretty neat, because you don't get those too often to go back in time. Because we talked about slashers as like a snapshot in time. Like you can go back in the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, and see what life was like for your common American person. But to go back into time, especially hundreds of years, and depict something and create horror based on it is pretty neat. And I do like the atmosphere it sets to the like colonial times. Like you had some indigenous people kind of spotted in there, and then you had the family they're just farming to make their own ends meet. They're providing for themselves, and to be attacked while in that type of situation, you just feel so alone, because it's not like these people can just go down the street and buy food. If their crops go bad, they starve. And so you see kind of all of these things start to happen to this family. I mean, that by itself, because there's a couple kids in the movie that are in distress from the happenings in it. And so overall, it was just a very rare movie, and that I feel like with the wrong lens, you kind of get the wrong expectations from it. I will say the movie-going experience, I went with my brother. And there's a scene, what's the woman's name from Game of Thrones?
Her name in the movie? Or her real name?
Name in Game of Thrones.
Oh. That kid's mom.
Robin's mom. That woman.
Her name?
Kate Dickey is the actress.
What you want? Her really?
So, but she thinks she's holding her baby.
Oh,
and it's
bird or something?
She thinks it's breastfeeding, but it's actually a crow just like pecking at her nipple, and she's like bleeding from it, and she's like crying hysterically. And I remember me and my brother just looked at each other, and like we were just like so confused, like we couldn't help but just like laugh at this situation. And like it just took us off guard, and I think that was part of that bad impression, where it was like, did you just make me laugh at the absurdity of this? Like, I'm not sure that specific scene survived the upon further review, but but that's I think that's all my movies that I can think of that start off with a rough experience at first, but after the main thing was rethinking it and putting on a different pair of lenses, and then rewatching it. It was the biggest thing. And like we mentioned in the beginning, it's about changing the perspective a little bit and trying to see what you see after you do that. So our third portion, movies about change perceptions. KMax, I know you had a good one with...
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited about 3 of them. I had about 5, but I'm going to share 2 for sure, and if there's time, maybe a third one. First one, about a character, there's a perception change that's so profound that it's you celebrate with them, and that's A Christmas Carol. right? I've been fascinated with this movie my whole life. It's the first movie I was scared of with Jacob Marley. It's probably the first movie that I watched with my whole family, the entire family. So it has a special place there. And the tale of redemption is so good. In fact, I mean, it's so good that this podcast has adopted some names of some of the ghosts of Christmas Future or whatever that just kind of embody this almost miraculous transformation or cautionary tale. Be careful, you're going to end up like this. Ebenezer Scrooge, just a wonderfully written character by Charles Dickens. Embodied so many things of like not post-industrial revolution, right in the middle of industrial revolution, Great Britain, where there's, you didn't just have domestic farms and you didn't just keep to yourself and have your own little community, small community. You had people rushing to cities, living in overcrowded cities, horrible working conditions, and you had people taking advantage of it, making a lot of money off those people. So you had, quickly in society, you had haves and have-nots. And Ebenezer Scrooge was a have. But there's a price to be paid for being a have. Still is, by the way. Someone that has, you lose a lot of perspective. And to be successful have, you lose a lot of perspective. And Ebenezer Scrooge was no exception. He lost his way. You see throughout the film, there's times he had where he could have gained and held on to the perspective of the brotherhood of man type of a thing. But he just didn't. He chose not to. Money and a name and reputation and status became all-encompassing. And it's no surprise that Dickens wrote of such a character. His family upbringing and whatnot. He was a great writer, not great at he was not great at home. He was a great writer. Anyway, Ebenezer Scrooge goes through these torments. He demonstrates his lack of understanding and care for his fellow man. And he's visited by 3 ghosts, blah, blah, blah. Transaction occurs, and he's changed. He no longer sees the world as something to be used and people as something to be used or avoided altogether or alienated. He sees them as someone that we are a brotherhood of man. I have a responsibility. I have the means. I can make their lives better. Not only should I do it, but it is my duty to do it. Not only to do that, but to keep Christmas well. Who doesn't like that? So you see this beautiful story of redemption, and his perspective couldn't be changed more. He sees poor people as they are needy and they need my help specifically. He sees Tiny Tim as not just a pity project, but I can make a difference in that kid's life. I'm going to champion his cause. Bob Cratchit, in general, I'm going to make your life better. I'm going to offer you better hours and better wages so you can give your family a better life. I'm going to show up at my nephew, my family member who loves me, his party, because he's been inviting me for years. He's believed the best in me, and now I'm going to show him that I can be that. All these things that didn't matter, that morning scene is still the best picture of redemption. Maybe It's a Wonderful Life and others, but it's a wonderful scene of redemption where you see him. I must stand on my head. He's so joyful. He's just so giddy. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as a schoolboy. All these things, and when you watch it, you celebrate with him. And I just think that his perspective has certainly shifted in that movie. So A Christmas Carol is probably my favorite, and I stole it from a list, on one of Vozly's lists. I'll go with a couple more if I could. Schindler's List.
Yeah, keep going.
Is another one where Oscar Schindler sees this opportunity during the Holocaust and the exploitation of the Jews to profit. And he's a very wealthy businessman, a member of the Nazi Party. He sees them clearly as profit, uses them, exploits them through the help of Itzhak Stern, his go-between. He makes a ton of money. And then he sees them as people, and his perspective changes just like that. And you see the evidence of it. So you can say, in real life, we can say we've changed. But you really can see a change by the proof's always in the pudding. That's the beautiful thing about pudding. You eat that pudding, there's where the proof is. Someone can say whatever they want. But Oscar Schindler, history records him, and the movie certainly records him, as someone who then went poor saving as many as he could, giving up all his wealth, and then telling Stern, "We don't have money yet." And Stern asks him, "Sir, you don't have money somewhere? This is really it?" He goes, "Yeah, this is it." And he's like, "We have an ammunition factory. We're not making anything that actually shoots." He goes, "Yes, and you're fired if we make anything that actually works." Yeah. He's just like, all of it becomes a front to save as many people as he can. The original title being Schindler's Ark. The idea that if you're on that list, you're saved, and you have a chance to. And this one man, because his perspective shifted, something made a change so profound that Jacques Stern told him, "You've done incredibly good. This list is life within the margins, in the boundaries. Because of you, we have generations." And I just feel like that is such a great picture of a shift in perspective, And then I can't do any better than that in my opinion. But I think I'll do Oblivion, the Tom Cruise joint, because that one was such a nice change. I didn't see it coming. I thought, oh, look at these bandits. They're trying to, and then I'm realizing, oh no, you are the enemy. We are the enemy.
Yeah.
And
that's a cool one.
It was a cool way that they presented it. I think that's more than anything profound. I just feel like it was such a cool way that they presented it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. How like the Tenet? What was it called? Yeah, something. They were all working to try to
the Tet.
Yeah.
The big spaceship.
Yep, the big spaceship. They were trying to find a way to get the nuke up there into that.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so cool how they cloned him. It's like, the rest of the crew actually lived and got set free. He jettisoned them their shuttle. He's the one who did that, and he was captured. Him and the other girl were captured and cloned. So this alien made them, the officers, to pretty much subdue the planet, take all their resources,
right,
and fight the rebellion.
They're and then tax collectors.
Yeah, and you find out that you think one of these two champions of what's left of Earth's colonies, they're the only hope, and it turns out they are being used. They are the bad guys. And I thought that was really cool. Oblivion is a real neat perspective shift.
It was cool seeing how much proof that they needed in order to turn him, because it was at first he didn't believe that they were real, who they were, and then they needed to kind of prove to him that no, we're still alive, they're still here, and how much he was able to. I don't know. It was a cool movie.
A fun movie too, right? Fun movie too. Yeah. And then I had to go, but I don't want to really get into that too much because I can't remember a whole bunch. It's just almost like Pulp Fiction, telling you the same story, literally it would start the story from another point and show you another character's walk through that movie.
Okay.
And so that was it. Was my last one.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys got?
All right. So first one on my list is Megamind. Super villain. Will Ferrell, super villain extraordinaire. That's one of my favorite movies, actually. Just as a comedy, as an adventure story, where he fights a Superman-like character that he can't really ever beat, and then comes up with some crazy, dastardly Looney Tunes plan, and it works. And what stems from that is he creates the whole city in his own image and finds it all to be wanting. Accidentally creates a supervillain in the process to find a hero to combat him because he's so bored. And in doing so creates a true villain that he now has to save the whole city from, and becomes a hero in the end. And the change from, no, I'm not only am I bad, I'm everything that there is. I'm the complete antithesis of everything good. And then to become the hero in the end. And even a fun, crazy, witty process throughout the whole thing. Even the little jokes, the little nuances. Answers the phone. Hello. Wait, hello. Just the little things added by Will Ferrell in this movie just makes it so enjoyable on every level to me. And I thought it was a nice little change of perspective for his character on that one. Next one I have is Snake Eyes.
Ooh.
One of my that's my favorite the heck's his name? I already forgot his name.
Nick Cage?
Nick Cage, that's right. It's one of my favorite Nick Cage movies.
I love it, too.
You've seen this?
I've seen it since you told me to see it. I actually seen it.
Okay, so it's a police
Listen,
detective.
I listen to y'all.
Some of us listen to recommendations.
A police detective on the take. Corrupt police detective on the take in Atlantic City. Who's put in a position to where he's going to double cross his... I don't want to spoil too much of the movie. Double cross certain characters.
25 years.
Yeah,
so
you had your chance.
You're good.
His best friend and supposedly, the most clean-cut character in the whole movie, to do what's right at the cost of his own fame, his own demons being pulled out of the closet, skeletons being pulled out of the closet, and he pays the price for it. The falling action of the movie is the whole, like trial. They news broadcasts where they're filming him outside his house and he's trying to hide from them. And he kind of has to eat the cost of it, of doing what's right. For going from someone who was so corrupt to someone who's now willing to pay that price. And I thought it was a cool twist.
That's cool.
And they showed that falling action. They didn't need to for just for Hollywood's sake, but for the story, I thought it was so worth it to have them show him kind of pay the price for. And they told him that too. They're like, you're going to burn up under the light. Once the spotlight comes on you, you're going to burn up. And he still went through with it.
There's not many characters like that, I don't think.
No.
Pretty cool.
It felt like an older movie because if you watch movies from, 40s, 50s, they have melancholy, endings that are like bittersweet. Like they don't feel like they're tied up in a nice bow. They felt like, oh, your character paid the price for all this, and it's kind of sad,
Is it such a far-fetched to say there was accountability back then?
Yeah, right. Yeah, like it was like, oh, it's bittersweet because of the situation that happened and the choices you made. Oh, you have to pay the price for it. Accountability. And
pretty cool.
I have two other movies, but I don't know if I want to add that. So one of my favorite movies also, it's not on my top 50 list. It's the sequel to The Shining, which is already like, going to be under a microscope and scrutinized because it's a Stanley Kubrick classic. I think it's one of his top 10.
The Shinning.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say The Shinning. I knew you were going to say it.
Use that shin of yours.
I knew he was going to say The Shinning.
I actually got him a rug in the room where he keeps all of his DVDs, and it's matching the pattern of the carpet that he rides this thing on.
Man.
So if you ever take a look at it,
I don't want to.
It's in his red room.
Gravy.
But Dr. Sleep. So it's Ewan McGregor's character.
Ewan McGregor.
So he starts off kind of a drug addict, and he's with that girl that he picks up. She dies, overdoses in the middle of the night, and he leaves the baby in the room crying. And he finds out later on, like in his dreams, in his shinningness, he sees that the kid died, and what that takes him to. And eventually goes to get sober and become like a kind of the Dr. Sleep character that he's known for. He kind of helps people move on after they're close to dying in a hospital. Like that's his like character role after that. But what he changes from how bad he was from that very beginning to build up his character to where he is now. And eventually to becoming like the guide for the girl in the story that comes in later on. So I always thought that was such a cool how low he gets before coming to where he is now.
He's great too, isn't he?
Ewan McGregor's
awesome. Great.
It was awesome. I that was one of my favorite movies. So shout out to Dr. Sleep. And I'm good with that list. I'm happy with that.
All right. So I have a little bit of a longer list, I think. I'll go more in depth, I guess, with a couple movies. So I'll just kind of mention the ones that I had on the list and then go more in depth with the two that I've recently rewatched. So upon making this list, I noticed a couple different things. One is a lot of recycled stories about literally switching places. Or shall I say, trading places.
Nice.
So trading places, Freaky Friday, Brother Bear.
Oh, man.
Literally switching places with something that you had opposite views of or didn't really understand.
Brave.
And Brave.
Yeah.
It's not like she switches places, but
her perspective changes. The mom switches places.
Right. Well, she becomes a bear. She doesn't become a young princess. So literally changing, and then from that literal change, learning how the other side lives.
Oh yeah.
And forming a new perspective of that other side based on that experience. So a lot of recycled stories on that. And then I noticed, all the variations of A Christmas Carol. And that also went into It's a Wonderful Life. And I noticed a lot of Christmas movies in general about changing someone that's cold and hard to someone that's loving and learned to value family and love and all that. So It's a Wonderful Life. I think we've all seen it, but the guy goes through this journey throughout the movie, reminded of the things that he has to live for, because he tries to jump off the bridge, and the angel saves him, right? Gets him back to shore, talks to him at the bar. Oh, here's what you're missing here. Oh, and here's your wife. Here's your family. Here's Christmas. Here's, he keeps showing him things. Here's what you're missing because your perspective is so crooked. Now, if you focused it correctly, here's the good in life. And similar to A Christmas Carol, he then, with the snap of the fingers, realizes how wrong his outlook has been and is now focused on the good. So you can see that in a lot of different Christmas movies. And it was to the point where, so spoiler alert, in December, we are going to go through a bunch of, quote, Christmas movies and make our own criteria for what constitutes as a Christmas movie, and then challenge that criteria by listing several movies that are borderline. Are they Christmas? Well, according to your criteria, maybe they aren't Christmas.
I'm not even looking at James right now. Or the Tin Man either.
Well, because Die Hard is the greatest Christmas movie, right?
So as I was compiling this list, I was coming across so many movies that were about change perception. I was thinking that might have to go into my criteria as, theme. Is the theme about X, Y, and Z, including stuff like improved perception of life. But that's just a little taste for December.
Little nibble.
It's going to get controversial.
It's going to be fun, though.
It will be fun.
It's going to be fun. We're only going up from Sniggle Booty. What is that sound? What is that movie? Skinamarink.
Sniggle Booty.
Yes. That's another film
We did not
altogether.
watch that together.
That's another movie altogether.
If they can make it an absurd name, I can give it an absurd pronunciation.
Home Alone fell into this category, though, of change perception. He had Kevin, who wanted to live alone and, wish they'd all disappear. And he wakes up in the morning and they're all gone. And he gets to see briefly how it would be without them, before he quickly realizes, oh no, I do love and cherish my family, especially my mom. And I wish she were here right now. And another nice and cozy, warm change in perception. And again, valuing family and life rather than anything else. So.
What a wonderful movie.
But the two that I rewatched recently, specifically for this theme, was, I'll go with 21 Jump Street first. So I just watched that one today, and no, you know what? Pocahontas.
No.
We're going to start off with Pocahontas. I rewatched that one yesterday. And, I mean, the whole theme of the movie is seeing things from someone else's view. You had two sides. You had the indigenous, the Algonquin, and then you had the settlers. And you had certain views on the earth as material good that can be dug up. And then you had the other side that cherished the earth and left it as is. And so what you had was almost like two champions from each side that were kind of in the middle ground, where they came from places that were telling them how to live and how to act and what to do with their lives, but they weren't so sure that was for them. Just a little bit against the grain. And these people were the open-minded versions of their own sides, kind of letting us know a little bit more about the theme as we went along. And they have a little argument in the beginning, John Smith and Pocahontas, and he's saying how he calls her a savage, and she takes offense to it. And he says, I meant uncivilized. And then she takes offense again. And he says, well, when I say uncivilized, what I mean is, and she finishes his quote and says, what you mean is not like you. And especially this week, in our country, if you don't think like me, you're wrong, and I need to change that, is kind of the attitude. And so this movie challenges that mindset. And it's crazy. I see things that make me think every day. And this movie came out, 95 or something? And in school we sang Paint with All the Colors. And, it was just a song you sang. It was from a Disney movie, whatever. And then as I'm watching the movie through this lens, a couple things pop out to me. Verbatim in the song, if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew. Which, I mean, that's the whole, that's our whole episode in 2 sentences right there. The idea of this song, Paint with All the Colors of the Wind, I was thinking about it, and it's like people using only certain colors to paint their perspectives of the world. So when it asks, can you paint with all of the colors? It's like, can you add the colors from other people's perspectives so that you can paint a better understanding of the world?
Oh, that's good.
So when you say can you paint with all the colors of the wind, is asking you, can you see things from other people's point of view and put it all together? So like I said, things every day. Song that, is just kind of a throwaway. Oh yeah, we sang it in school. And now with this lens, I gain new perspective on
just in a nick of time.
Right. I forgot to mention this was the Oscar-winning movie starring Mel Gibson and Christian Bale. So yeah, Pocahontas, I mean, it's about changing your perspective. The whole movie is about changing your perspective. And it comes to a point at the end, you got the natives on the one side and the settlers on the other, and they're about to execute John Smith before Pocahontas runs in and changes her dad's mind, where she speaks with wisdom beyond her years or whatever, but just kind of bringing to attention how one could learn a little bit just by seeing things from another point of view. And, I mean, that's what we're talking about today.
Love it.
Nice.
Now, speaking of using two perspectives to create a whole, or multiple perspectives to create a whole. 21 Jump Street, which it's kind of a version of Trading Places with someone, the Freaky Friday thing. Because, I don't know, if you guys have seen 21 Jump Street, right? Channing Tatum, and Jonah Hill, and they go undercover. And again, watching it through a different lens, you get to see things differently here. There's an inciting event that happens in every story where it gets your characters to act on something, which propels your story forward. And so with this movie, depending on what lens you're watching it with, was it that they went to police academy together? Maybe. Is it that they were chosen to go undercover? Maybe. The kid overdoses on this drug. That could have also propelled the story forward. But for me, it's when Janko forgets which identity he's supposed to be when they're in the principal's office. Mm-hmm. So the principal assigns, he doesn't mean to, but he calls the one Doug when it's actually Brad. So now that's, to me, the inciting event, because you had what was supposed to be Janko's identity and something that he could relate to back when he was in high school, reversed with Schmidt. So now Schmidt gets to be with this group, and Janko gets to be with the nerds, as he called them, to see how. Yeah, and so to me, that's, with this lens, the new inciting event, because that's what it's actually about, is seeing how the other side lived and how you can use that to create this whole. So something I noticed on this viewing of 21 Jump Street is that there's two sides of a lot of different things here, and a subconscious use of like two and duo, and it started right in the beginning. Do you guys remember, like, it shows them in high school, and Jonah Hill's character tried to ask out a girl to prom, and he got made fun of. So he's sitting outside on a park bench. And then Janko just got expelled? No, what happened to him? He can't go to prom. Can't go to prom because of his grades. Mm-hmm. And so he's outside on a park bench. And so when the camera's looking, on the left you have Janko, on the right you have Schmidt. And so is that idea of two sides, and eventually trying to get them whole, right? So you have two sides, two perspectives. So you had that motif showing up throughout the movie. So it was cool from this new lens how they set that up from the start. Here's this motif, keep in mind, and we'll keep moving forward. So you kind of see it sprinkled in when they're in the church. It's two sides of pews going down. There's the house is oddly shaped, Schmidt's house, because there's two. It looks like two ends of it, where you have the traditional square with the triangle top, and there's two of those left and right connected in the middle by just house. So again, very odd looking house that fits what the film's trying to say perfectly. And then you have this idea of a covalent bond. They keep mentioning it in science. But it's things sharing one another. And even subtle things like a motorcycle gang, and they're on bicycles, like two wheels and two of this, two of that. And two atoms shared, two electrons or whatever. And, and then the student driver car, you got two sets of steering wheels and two sets of brakes in one car. But you can only make it work correctly if you're both on the same page. So little things like that throughout the movie is like, oh. And when they finally do share one another, they take down the bad guys. You know, they recite the Miranda's rights correctly and actually arrest the guy. So I thought it was pretty cool to see that movie, both movies really, where the main theme, not only the characters, but the theme of the movie about changed perspectives kind of cross over into one another and really makes sense when you watch it through those lenses and you can see what the filmmakers are doing. So I thought it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Nice. That's a good list.
There is a third that, man, this episode's all about spoiling our future episodes here. But the very next episode is going to be about a movie that is about changed perceptions. And it's Babe. I think from 94.
I think I saw it in theaters.
Tin Man's on the case.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. 95?
95. What was Pocahontas? Was that also 95?
Yes, it was. Also 95.
It was a good year.
It was 10.
I was But so Babe, I want to go too deep into it, but when's the last time you guys have watched Babe?
When I was 10.
I went over this with you.
Mine was probably about 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
I really like that movie.
So I think I saw it about 5 years ago. Anywhere from 3 to 5. I remember my daughter was born, but not my son. And we just kind of watched it. But this is going to be cool because a lot of our movies, it's KMax that hasn't seen it in decades. And Tin Man that's seen it more recent. And so, we get to switch perspectives here.
Oh my goodness. Come in and know me better, man.
So next episode is going to be Babe, and we'll look forward to changing perspectives here. And then in 2 episodes, it'll be, oh my goodness, Mamma Mia, with a positive lens on it this time, and see what we can find.
Just a quick reminder, check us out on Instagram, Depth Perception Movie Podcast, and keep an eye out for giveaway and promotion, things like that. This week got away from me with the election coverage and things like that. But we're going to have it up and running this week, and it'll have a theme, dinner and a movie. The prize package will be dinner and a movie. Now, don't get carried away. We're a small joint here. And our sponsors are very, very, very mild and very local small business. So dinner and a movie would be like a gift card and a gift card. So you have like an AMC gift card that's probably going to get 1.5 people in, and a dinner that'll probably feed you as long as you both eat apps. So anyway, dinner and a movie, and then we want to give away, yeah, you heard it right, we want to give away a ham. So first place, dinner and a movie. Second place, ham. And look for the Instagram. You got to check it out. Again, Instagram Movie Podcast. And you take a look on there this week. There will be information about how to win. Get your hands on that ham.
KMax, can people in the podcast win this?
I don't see why not. Rules are for schmucks.
Hey, I'm aiming for second place here.
Yes, ham is good. And I want to tell you right now,
I eat apps.
You mess around, you might get yourself a honey glazed ham.
You know what? I don't want to say the fix is in, but there's 3 guys here. And there's 3 things that you just listed.
That's right. Doing a movie.
Cancel it, guys. Sorry, you can't win it.
It'll be fun. And the idea is that the content we're putting out here, we really love it. And there's some folks that really, really love it. We just want more people to get a chance to get a taste. And our hope is that they'll love it, because the hope is you get something out of it. You join the conversation. We build a community here, and we just have a blast. That's the idea.
Love it.
A taste, you say?
A taste. It
Then
shall
a
be.
taste. It shall be. Tin Man, Any last words?
No.